Yeah, let's talk about Lutnick on that one.
Yeah,
Lutnick is the worst example of this. So I have the clip in here, Griffin.
Can you believe a guy in finance would be neighbors with one of the most rich and powerful people and never want to hang out with him?
Right.
Can you believe that would happen?
Let's get the Midas touch clip, the one where he says he never saw him again after 2005.
Me and my wife saw him and we felt a dark feeling and we're like, I will never hang out with that guy unless it's on an island with my family.
All right, so we are in number 11 and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So
I mean, that's just rich. Hold on. Pause. Are they just fucking with us? At this point, are they just fucking with us?
Oh, I was in number 9.
So
he was in 11.
Epstein is in 9. He's in 11. Lutnick happens to not go to work that day. At this point, he's the guy who was supposed to.
I was going to say, if we want to go further, he's from Cantor Fitzgerald, which is where the plane directly hit in the World Trade Center.
Yeah. So they were trying to get him out of here.
You can take your own conclusions.
Bin Laden is like, if we get one office. Yeah. Okay. All right. Go on.
Yeah.
Pigeons and mice. Right. Okay. That's it. It was derelict.
Wow.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps, right, to the next house for
Building
coffee.
7.
We share a wall.
I'm just saying.
New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, "Do you want a tour?" We said, "Great."
Interesting.
He's got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got. Well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide, and. So he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room. And then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the doors and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
All right, let's cut it there, Griff. And then let's put up the next clip where he was in front of the United States Congress after emails showed that he had sent multiple emails to Jeffrey Epstein, including potentially planning a trip to the island. And what do we have here?
He did go to the island.
Yeah. Quote, and actually, this is a 5-minute clip. We don't have time to find it. I'll give you the direct quote. Did you, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island? Lutnick, I quote, I did have lunch with him as I was on the boat going across on a family vacation. We had lunch on the island. That is true. That is after the alleged incident and the dramatic telling that you all just saw, which is planned by email, which was released in the Epstein files.
Now, he said he would never be in a room with him again.
Right. Yeah, sorry.
It could be outdoors.
Yeah, you're right.
He was on a yacht. Okay? It's very
he was on a yacht. He happened to be near the island. I mean, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's an explicit lie. And then it's not just about the lie, it's about the confidence in which he's willing to tell that story. And what does that confidence tell you? The confidence that his lie will never be found out. Right? That was the purpose of that lie, is that he knew that he was lying in the very moment that he said that. Not only did it get found out, but now he also knows that he will face no consequences. And I think that is the worst part. Remember what I was talking about with foreign governments and accountability? Our government is the least accountable, and our government has the most of these people. The Federal Reserve Chair was listed in the Epstein email as a potential guest. The new chairman, who Trump is going to appoint Federal Reserve. RFK Jr., there's an email in here where they're talking about going fossil hunting with RFK Jr. I mean, I even asked him about it. He admits going.
No, he got out early.
Yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, I stopped hanging out with him. But I was on the plane. And what did he say to us, Griffin? He's like, I knew a lot of people. I knew O.J. Simpson or something.
You went on a list.
Yeah, he was like, I knew O.J. I knew,
It is also funny that he's like, we went fossil hunting.
Yeah.
It was old stuff we were looking at. The oldest it could be.
Right.
No.
But I mean, what is the consequence for someone like Lutnick? Like you're
The
saying,
consequence should be that the public should demand resignation. And
but
he's
if
the
we're
one,
making anyone that's
Right.
associated with Epstein resign,
Right.
I mean, Trump is his boy.
well, okay,
Or,
no,
back in the day.
fair point.
Lutnick is Trump's handler, right? Like
Right.
that's.
I mean, I don't know if that's accurate. As I understand it,
I think it's
Lutnick is
Kushner.
like this deep.
Kushner's the handler.
Yeah,
You think his kid is?
Yeah.
no, his son-in-law. His
The son-in-law.
But he's still his
But-
kids.
Yeah,
man.
but nah.
I don't think as
We can
I
get sued
understand
for
it,
that?
I don't think. Yeah, be careful.
No, but like, it seems, look, if Lutnick had that type of connectivity with Epstein, like where he's willing to lie about the relationship, even though he knows he's gone to the island, the emails show that he's planned to be there. He's Trump's right-hand man. He's behind him in every single conversation that he's
the
having.
point man on tariffs, by the way. Point man on tariffs and about the destabilization. By the way, people should look into his son. If Griffin was here, I'd have him look it up. His sons are doing some sketchy stuff whenever it comes to the tariffs as well. But the point remains around all of this is that accountability.
Hold on, I don't want to leave this. Do
Yeah.
you think that Lutnick is his handler?
No, I don't think that. I think Handler misunderstands the way that the current Trump administration works. Like the idea that he doesn't have agency, and I think Trump has a lot of agency. Like he's the person who's deciding what he wants to do. He may be manipulated, in certain directions, and I definitely think that's true. But that's not unique to Lutnick. That's a variety of different policy areas.
So with
Yeah.
Trump then specifically, right? Because Trump has mentioned what 1 million times in the emails,
Something.
tons
according
of
to
connectivity.
according to Jamie Raskin. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there any, because the timeline that we were presented was that they kind of knew each other.
Right.
Now we know they really knew each other.
They were good friends.
They were good friends, but now they kind of knew each other. And then something happens and then they sever the friendship.
That's according to Trump.
That's according to Trump. But have the files proved that that wasn't the case?
Well, what the files have proved, not just the files, what we have see is that Trump's intimate relationship with Epstein is much deeper than he let on, which is that he was just a Mar-a-Lago member, that they casually knew each other. And by the way, Trump has hung himself in his own public comments. He talks about how he was being creepy with girls that were at the spa. The story came out that Mar-a-Lago was sending private massage girls to Jeffrey Epstein's house.
I mean, Virginia Giuffre.
I was going to say, Virginia Giuffre, she's a more controversial Epstein accuser. I will definitely give you that. But it is undeniable that she was trafficked or she was, abused and or associated with Epstein around the time that she left Mar-a-Lago. And Epstein or Trump was even asked, did you sever your relationship because Virginia Giuffre was stolen by Epstein from Mar-a-Lago? And he basically said yes in the Oval Office. He was asked about it on camera. But the deeper point around their relationship is not just their social relationship, but, frankly, we see multiple instances of an entanglement in their social life when it comes to women. So, for example, you see this ex-girlfriend that Epstein apparently had that eventually started to date Donald Trump. If Griffin was here, I'd have him pull it up, but there's a dated check in the birthday book where it's like a depreciated asset,
pretty convenient timing
being
for Griffin
sold.
to leave the room. Huh?
He's deep state, dude.
Yeah, he's in the deep state.
He's literally compromised.
No, but there's the depreciated
Stalker's handler for
the
sure.
depreciated asset check where, there's a girl, like Trump's ex-girlfriend being sold from Epstein to Trump. Like, this is a bad look. There's also in the Epstein files, I'll have Griffin pull this up whenever he comes back, is Trump's, one of the accusers was actually interviewed by the FBI. Can we get that? It's in Politicians, Trump accuser interviewed by the FBI. It just came out from Roger Sullenberger, which, by the way, let me just finish the thought there.
yeah.
The fact that the FBI did interview a victim who was accusing Trump
And then-
goes beyond an anonymous claim against Donald Trump by a tip line, right? So this was actually one of being interviewed. Again, look, being interviewed is not necessarily a crime, but what we're talking about is a deep social relationship which Trump has never really wanted to acknowledge in his public life, but in the prior life, he would acknowledge it all the time.